we are back. This is the third week of us celebrating Women's History Month on Manifest 31 platform. And I decided to use my platform to really highlight women that I not only have the privilege to know, but are doing things in the community, who are not only doing things in the community, but the way they lead their life. And that's a really important word. They lead their life has impacted so many people, so many people. So without further ado, I have the opportunity to give flowers to, she was not only a teacher of mine, but she really inspired me even after I left, and just encouraging, supporting my nonprofit, supporting just who I was as a woman as I was evolving. She knew me from a teenager and she saw me and she never stopped supporting even after we graduated. So it was in no way I could celebrate Women's History Month. And I told y'all it was gonna be hard. We were like talking before this and I just been struggling trying to say her name, because you know, when you have a teacher, you don't call them by your first name, do it. And it's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna say it.
I'm waiting. You can do it. Let's go.
All right. So without further ado, I am excited. I am honored to share this platform with not only someone who was my teacher, but also who has inspired me, Mrs. Edith and these. Oh, I'm saying it wrong.
Anttila.
Okay, I'm gonna edit that part out. We're gonna do this again. All right. All right, because I'm sweating bullets over here, like I'm really like on the real stage. Like I'm sweating. Okay, here we go. All right. So without further ado, I have the privilege and honor to introduce to all of you, Mrs. Edith Anttila Graybill.
It's a little backwards, Graybill Anttila, but that's okay. Let's Graybill first.
Yes.
Y'all know. It'll be okay.
No. I wanted that. I struggled with that to even get that part out. Like I just wanted to say Miss Graybill from day one. Like the moment she came, and I just can't.
I think it was Shakespeare who said, "A rose by any other name." Doesn't matter.
So, but just thank you for just coming on and being on the platform today, and just allow me to just give you your flowers and honor you this Women's History Month. I'm so thankful.
Thank you for having me.
So we all know that Manifest 31 really stands on the foundation of you can manifest and heal at the same time. So I asked this question to everybody. Y'all know it's already coming, but what does manifest mean to you?
So manifesting, something that manifests comes into body, comes into solid, comes into reality. By definition of the word, something that is manifested is brought forth into corporeal, touchable body and physical form. So the way you're using it there, it's this idea of the bringing forward of your idea into this physical thing, this, hey, we're here on either side of a computer, right? It's, yeah, I mean, that's what manifesting is.
Yes. And I just want to kind of take it a step further. We talk about why I introduced you as that educator, as a teacher, as that person that's inspiring youth in advocacy. But how would you define Edith?
So I think what I'm here for is to lift y'all up. Like that's what I do, is I lift people up. That's what you're supposed to do, right? If you are surrounded by people who aren't lifting you up, then they're dragging you down. And I never want to be that person. So you lift people up. And that's what I'm here for. I'm a gasser upper.
And I just have to say it's so much more, because I feel like sometimes when you think like gassing up, it's like just full of air. It's like that's why I kind of like think, right? But with you, I feel like it's love, it's support, it's belief. And that's one thing that stood out to me throughout my years at HFA, and also my, just growing into a woman, was to have somebody believe in you can change your whole outlook on so many things. And that truly was how I felt knowing you and being a part, of that opportunity as a student, to know that somebody believed in me outside of my family, outside of my friends, outside, it was someone that believed in me enough to say, you can achieve what you put your mind to. It's gonna take hard work. It was hard work. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, it was that belief. So I just want to follow up with that is what kind of encouraged you to go into teaching and being an educator and kept you there, honestly.
So, and so when I went, there really wasn't anything else I ever really considered doing with my life. I mean, I thought about being a lawyer for about a half minute. But then I, thought about going to law school, and I decided I'd skip that. It was a lot, but that's, the whole point is you go out and you make it better for other people. And we are never, teenagers are awesome because they haven't yet stopped believing that they can be more. And you can see adults harden around this idea of what they think they are and where they think their limits are, and you can see that. I mean, think about it. People who've hardened around that expectation of this is what I am. This is as far as I can go. There's no more to me. There's no more for me. And kids, teenagers there are some who have been told over and over and over again that this is what they are, but they haven't gotten out into the world yet, and they haven't solidified that. And so you can still convince them otherwise. You can still show them that if one person believes in you, then no, that's not all you are. If one person thinks, as long as you follow your, you do your job and you take care of business and you keep on it, they don't meet you at graduation with your limo and your your $1 million check. You're going to have to do something about that. But there's nothing beyond. I mean, as long as you are understanding that, again, they're not showing up at graduation and whisking you off to Hollywood or something, then at that point, you are in a magical place as a teenager where you literally can do almost anything. You can't like I remember being in 8th grade, and I had this English teacher. Oh God, he was an old cranky bugger. Oh, he was cranky. And then I had a classmate named Brian, and I remember Brian he'd been held back a year, and he was bigger than all the other kids, and he kind of lurched around, and he had gotten to the point where he didn't get it, so he wasn't trying anymore. He wasn't going to pay attention anymore. He wasn't going to sit there and be bored anymore either. He was going to make his own entertainment. So he was that kid, you know what I mean? And I remember we were in the school library one day, and we were leaving the library, and he had done something or said something, and the teacher turned to him and basically, I don't even remember the words, but he basically said to the kid, "You've never been anything and you're never going to be anything." And I thought to myself, what the hell? This is we were 13 years old. You don't know. And I remember very clearly just feeling that for him and being like, that is absurd. You don't have any idea what this guy's going to grow up to be. You don't have any idea where he's supposed to be. You just are annoyed that he talked back to you, or he wasn't quiet enough. And that's not okay. And that was, I always like the ones who argue back. It makes me laugh.
And I think about the way that you have used your voice and your gifts to help to bring out and cultivate this others voices, to let them know that their voices matter. And one of the questions I have for you is, what have you like, well, I know we talk about you as just a, as an educator, but there's so much more to you than a teacher. And I put that as the title of this, as more than a teacher, because you are a woman, you are a wife, you are a mother. And I just want to kind of dive into that a little bit of how has, like, what keeps you encouraged in that avenue of being such in so many different titles in your life.
They're all the same.
Mhm.
I mean,
Wow.
it's all the same stuff, right? You don't treat your own kid differently than you treat other kids. You don't treat other kids differently than you'd want your own kid treated. You don't treat your spouse or your family or these other people. I mean, you don't, it's all the same. You put out what you want back and you hope it comes, right?
That's powerful. That's powerful. How would you say that your family has kept you inspired? Because this has been a rough two
Oh my
years.
God. It's
This
been
is,
a
I mean,
horrible 2 years.
and um, as educators, and I just straight kudos because Noah was home. Not that as long though, because there were some schools that it was much longer. His school went back in person a lot sooner than other schools, but it has been such up and down, up and down, up and down. And we know that it has taken a toll not only on educators, on students, on so many people. It has taken a toll. What can you share with us of how you have stayed sane and how have you
You're assuming I have.
and just being that transparency, what can you share with us?
So yeah, I mean, it's been probably the worst 2 years of our lives, right? I mean, it's incredibly difficult. Virtual education is it is everything that is not why I went to school to be a teacher. Like the whole point is you get in the classroom and you talk to people.
Mhm.
And I commented a couple, we were virtual. We went virtual at HFA. We were virtual for the week before Christmas because of the Oxford threats. And then we were virtual after Christmas for 3 weeks because we couldn't staff the school. Like everybody, too many teachers were sick. Like I had COVID, they had COVID, everybody had COVID. It was awesome. But excuse me. But I remember having a day where I got to the beginning of my third period class. So 2 hours of doing education. And it was the first time anyone spoke to me. Like I couldn't get anybody to answer. Like I'm trying to have, I mean, I'm a big class conversation person, you don't learn if you don't talk, and you can't process. And like I'm, hello, and they're not there. I mean, it's high school. You and I both know I'm talking to nobody. They're sitting there, they got their computer next to them. They went back to sleep. They're watching Netflix. They're playing, their Game Boy. Geez, oh, Pete. They're playing on, I'm old. They're doing something else. They're taking care of their siblings. They're making sure somebody fed their younger sister before mom and dad go off to work. They're not there. And it has been like the futility is incredible. Like just there's nobody listening and you're talking to a void. But you soldier on because people are watching, right? And if it's hard and impossible for me, then it's impossible for other people, and that's not okay. Like the kid can't think this is impossible. My daughter can't think this is impossible because nothing's impossible. She can't know that. She can't believe that anything's impossible. She's 9. You can't give up at that point. But no, I mean, the sun's coming out, or the sun is out later. The weather's getting nicer. We got a puppy. I mean, get little tiny things. It's, you hold on to what you can, because there's so much other, I mean, everything's really heavy. I mean, the world is crazy around us. Who knows where we'll be by the time this airs? You're going to put this up in a week, and by then, you know, the world is full of crazy. And the world's always full of crazy. It's just not always quite as scary.
And I just want to kind of pause there because your transparency really just filled my spirit. And the last thing that really resonated was holding on to the little things, the small things that sometimes pass us by, but we don't seem to catch. And if one thing this pandemic has really shown me is that it's those the check-ins from friends. It doesn't mean that you stop by or you go out, but it might be literally just a text saying, I'm thinking about you. Or like you said, the sun coming out. I have never appreciated the sun as much. Like today, it snowed this morning, y'all. Like it was snowing, and I'm like, why? I just want something. And then by the time it like 3 o'clock, the sun was bright, and I was so happy. Like
it's 7:30. It's still sunny out. And I hate daylight savings time, and it's still awesome.
And it's like the little things this pandemic has shown you to just really hold on to that. And one of the other things of your transparency was that it has been hard, but it sounds like what has kept you going was not just people watching, but it was the fact that you provide hope by showing up. And if you don't necessarily show up, then the kids are kind of like, well, if it doesn't matter to you, then it's really not going to matter to me.
Can't ask other people to do what you're not willing to do.
And that stood out to me. But I think the most of it was like when you showed up and you provided hope, those little things provided hope to you and allowed you to continue to fill your cup and fill it to the point that it overflowed. And it overflowed. And that's one thing that's really been important to me these last couple of years, is to no longer try to pour, but allow myself to overflow. Because it's hard to fill yourself while you're pouring out. But if I continue to feel and I can overflow to those around me, that is more of a blessing than always trying to give from what I don't have. And I appreciate your transparency because it's just hard. It's hard these 2 years, but that hope is a lifeline to somebody. It's a lifeline to somebody. So I thank you for your transparency. I thank you for showing up. I thank you for being that for hope for so many people. But I also thank you for allowing yourself to just be in the moment to say, no, it has been horrific. It's been horrible.
It's awful.
I like it. It's awful.
Worst year of my life.
And
there have been a few years, let me tell you.
Yes. So as we are like coming to an into this, I just really have that question of what is your word of encouragement or advice to anyone watching this, whether it's an educator, a parent, a student, just anybody? What has been anything that flows from your heart right now?
You know, my grandma always said, this too shall pass. All the time, this too shall pass. And the thing is that that's true both ways. Like the good stuff nothing lasts forever. Like eventually we're gonna be done with whatever this is. It seems to be taking its sweet time, but nothing lasts forever. You don't get to keep the good stuff forever, and you don't have to keep the bad stuff forever. It will all eventually be something else. And, you know, it reminds me to enjoy the good stuff because it'll go away. I mean, nothing lasts forever. And also, you know, eventually it'll go away and nothing lasts forever, right? It's, you know, we can't, it's already different. It has been different every single day. Hasn't necessarily, and it's better. It's better now than it was 2 months ago, right? I mean, 2 months ago, everybody was sick. We were all just really annoyed about it. But that's the thing, is that it's never the same day twice, and it will pass, and whatever it is, you kiss it goodbye and you say bye. Let it go. Send it up, send it out, send it wherever it needs to be that isn't here. But nothing lasts forever. This too shall pass.
Well, I receive that and I take that and I again just give you your flowers. This is my imaginary bouquet. It's huge, it's amazing, it's beautiful because you are truly not a living legacy, legacy to so many people and have inspired us to know that we are limitless. We are limitless. And I can truly say that from my heart because I know for a fact that there has been so many teachers and so many people from HFA that have poured into me where I would not be at this place where I'd be like, okay, let's keep going. Let's keep doing it. So I thank you for providing that hope then and still providing that hope now.
We're proud of you.
We did it. So I just want to say thank you.
No
Happy
worries.
Women's History Month and
Well, thanks.
till next time.